Okay, welcome back to the Jazz Studios. As you can see, I haven't fixed a thing, so there you go. I want to talk about jazz articulation. And jazz articulation is a little tricky to teach. In fact, I'm not even sure you can really teach it so much as you make people aware of it. And there are a couple ways to do that. And I found a lot of success in thinking about people who play, players. That really helps. So let's just talk about it for a second. Um, Jamie Aebersold has this great little booklet out that's packed with jazz theory. This is worth its weight in gold, even though it doesn't weigh much. It's still pretty good. He has a page here on jazz articulation, and what it does, it gets you thinking about just being aware of attacking or playing short or shaping notes. So if we get this scale pattern that goes to the 9 and back that he likes to use, this thing, then we could play different articulation patterns over it, okay? Every other note. See, every third note. Right? Mix it up with some shorts and longs. So they're basically, it's like unlimited how you can mess with a scale, how you can play with a scale. And that's good. That's cool, and that's good and all that. But we don't think like that when we play. Not really. But this is a good exercise to get you aware of. You have options. When you have a lick or a pattern that you learn, your articulation is really another way to. It's another pattern. It's another lick. You can get the same pattern articulated endlessly with different approaches. So articulation is really great. But what I like to do with articulation is I don't think about articulating. Jazz players, I don't think are thinking about that. We love certain players. We love the players that inspired us to play this music. And what we do is we listen to them so much that we start to improvise our own way, sometimes how we think they would do it. So we wouldn't even be playing what one of our heroes would play. We would play the way we think they might from listening to them a lot. So this listening to a player, that's it. You want to learn how to jazz articulate? Find a player, fall in love with them, listen to them for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, your whole life, and you'll start to phrase that way. That's it. But let me give you an example of some things. Let's say you're listening to Lester Young, okay? Like a blues here. 1, 2, alone. That kind of light playing. That's how I would interpret how Lester might do it. So am I thinking long, short, legato here, swell on this, diminuendo here? No, I'm not thinking any of that. I'm thinking, Lester. And because I've listened to Lester, you can get that, Or like Dexter Gordon, right? Would Dexter play those actual notes? No, but that's not the point. I'm soloing with a concept in mind, and the concept is Dexter Gordon, Sonny Rollins. The real hard popping and attacking, Sonny Rollins. Johnny Griffin. I loved Johnny Griffin. He would play something but really fast and have this real beautiful, clean articulation. It was almost like sauce when it boils, how the bubbles break on the top. I knew food would sneak into this. So 1, 2. You know, Johnny would have these long lines, and they would pop like that. You know, so when I think that way, I'm not thinking long, short. What note am I going to attack? Let's see. I'll play this note, and Johnny Griffin. Then it all comes. James Moody on, I forget what tune, he actually had a great solo where he almost micromanaged every single note. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I'll try and recreate what I think that was. This is really a good, check out James Moody for articulation. Sometimes he gets into this thing where he's just always on top of the notes. This is kind of what I mean. 1, 2, 1, he wouldn't let anything go. It was great. Anyway, so that would be a James Moody type of thing. There are people that solo with hardly any inside articulating. It's more of an even thing. It's like an evenness. It's another way. And you need to remember that, you know, certain types of articulation, it lives in certain styles, certain tempos. Musicians like to use a lot of different articulations. We all probably use some bit of all of it. No one articulates one way and that's it. But if you copied somebody, it would kind of focus you. So you can get all this theory and all this blues scales, pentatonics, altered notes, inside the key, outside the key, flip triads, all that business needs to be articulated. So you bring that articulation to the theory, and it helps you phrase things. Nick Brignola, great Barry player, used to do this thing where he would play a long solo, not a long solo, a fast solo in like the bottom 6 or 7 notes of the horn. It was just great. I never heard that. And when I heard it, I hopped right on it because I thought it was one of the greatest sounds from baritone, for baritone players, because it's unique to the horn. You're like 1, 2, 1, But anyway, Nick would do that kind of thing, and when I heard it, I thought it was great. So, don't get overly analytical with articulations. Fall in love with the player, listen to how they do it, and try, and you have to listen, not just listen like you're in the dentist office and you're drilling your teeth and you hear the music playing. I mean, listen, you study this stuff. And then when you get to this, when you do this, you're able to make this work even better. But think about articulations as being attached to a player that you love. And when you start soloing, try and solo like that person, and you'll find your articulations immediately start to straighten out. Trust me, I'm your pal.